Hey everybody, so my computer turned off. I was doing a live stream, so anybody watching this not knowing, my computer shut off during my live stream after it just started. So back on the second one. Hey, whoever's there, sorry, my computer shut down, so I had to redo this whole thing. So sorry for that. I don't know where that came from or why I did it, but it seems to be holding up okay now. So hopefully we'll get some people in here. Let me just head over and get into a better room where I can read your comments better. Still says I'm live on the other one. I don't get that one. So just hang on, guys. Be there in a sec. Yeah, got two live shows going on at the same time. That works. Don't know how they don't catch up on that. Okay, talking to myself. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, just about to get in to where the room is, and then I can see comments and hopefully. So there's been a bunch of trades. I was reading them out when my computer decided to shut down. So let's see if I can get through them this time. I just want to get into the room here. I don't know why it's so slow on just on YouTube for me. Okay, just about there. Hopefully more people will come in. I don't know who's here, but whoever's here, say hi or not. Depends, up to you. Oh, go Habs, go. Well, don't be pissed. I don't really expect that they're going to trade anybody big today. I think you might see Cousins, Wheel. I thought Thompson would go. And I said, and by the way, from what I can tell with Kovalchuk, they offered him a deal and he turned it down. I don't know the details of that, just that's what I read. I don't know the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if there's truth to it, but it seemed like it was from a good source. So I don't know. So they had to trade him if he wasn't going to sign. I mean, that's just it's business and it's how it has to go. Now, as far as the other guys, I don't think so. I think if you're going to see Tatar or Petrie, you might as well see Price and Weber go as well. And maybe you're one of those guys that want that to happen. And that, I mean, that's fair enough. But for me, I don't see it happening, and I personally don't want that to happen. But hey, there's still 2.5 hours and then a little bit more. Like if they get a deal done like right at 3 o'clock and can get it filed in time, it might only get announced 45 minutes later. That's why tonight, well, as long as my computer holds up, no reason it shouldn't. I'm going to be coming on after supper and doing another, like an hour, hour and a half, and we'll go over all the trades that'll happen because I'll only stay on for about another hour. And then there might be some videos I've got to do and stuff like that. So, and especially, hey, Massimo, how's it going, buddy? And especially if Montreal does trade somebody big, I got to do a special video on that too. So, yeah, so we're on for about another hour, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's been some decent trades, but I just got to be a lot more. Only 9 before my computer crapped out. So I'm kind of looking on what site is it? I don't know if it's I had Sportsnets and then I don't have it now. So I don't know if I'm getting good updates. Chris Kreider re-signed with New York. That was a disappointment for a lot of people. But other than that, some of the moves, some of the guys that were supposed to go, they went. It figures, I had a great place on Twitter to get all the updates, and then my computer logged out on me, or not logged out, shut down. And I'm back on Twitter, and I can't find it now. That figures. Okay, let me get back to what you guys are saying, if you're saying anything. Massimo, you really think Bergie is going to make a big trade? I don't know about a big one. Hey, Anthony, how's it going? Whoops, almost got my glasses on. Want to give us Tatar, please? Thanks. No, you got Nate Thompson. It's enough. Be happy. I don't think you're trading Tatar, and I don't know. Philadelphia hasn't been like a destination that's been talked about. I hope they trade Tatar to the most desperate team calling. Okay, Peanut, stop. I'm on there. Petrie to the Canes and wait till the summer to try to move Price to a contender. Well, I just don't think any of that's going to happen. But listen, who knows? You know, listen, if they don't trade Tatar and Petrie, it does like at the deadline doesn't mean they won't move them in the off season. Even though still I don't think so. But yeah, I don't think they're going to move. Hey, Randy, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Hope Tatar and Petrie stay. Yeah, me too. I hope they stay, and I think they will. Hockey Crabs. Do I see any more moves happening? Well, yeah. I mean, I think Jordan Wheel would be if you can move him. It's not a big move. There was talk about Cousins. There's interest apparently in Nick Cousins. So maybe Nick Cousins. Peanut, stop now. Stop. Go. When I turn the camera on, the dog, the cat, they want to lick my feet, scratch at me. It's like it's showtime. Uh, so yeah, I see more moves happening, and maybe not though. They've already made the two moves, Kovalchuk and Thompson. It doesn't change the balance that much. I know a lot of people are disappointed with Kovalchuk not signing here or being moved. I am kind of too, but apparently I also read this, and I don't know the validity of all these things, but I did read somewhere that Kovalchuk really loved Montreal, and if he doesn't sign with Washington, Montreal is going to be looking to possibly sign him in the offseason. So we'll see what happens with that, if there's any validity to that. But apparently he really loved his stay here at Montreal. He said it was probably the best move he ever made, maybe in his life. And maybe that'll mean he wants to come back here. I know his kid is going to hockey academy here, so I don't know if that means anything. We'll see. And apparently they did offer him a deal that he turned down. I don't know the reason why. And they gave him the choice of going to Washington or Boston, and he chose Washington. So they had a deal for him from Boston, which was rumored to be, and and he chose Washington, which good. I'm good on him. I wouldn't want him to come back here for next season after playing on Boston. Excuse me. Okay. Where was I? Okay, Randy's also saying hoping for big free agent pickups in the offseason. Yeah, I think if you're gonna see, like, I don't see them being a buyer unless I think if they're gonna be a buyer here at this deadline, I would think it's because they're getting either a backup goalie, they find one, or that defenseman that we've been looking for. Otherwise, I don't really see them being buyers either. I'll tell you though, losing Thompson will hurt, but I imagine they're going to call up Jake Evans and play in that spot. That's my thought. Is Evans might get a called back up, and be there. Although they want the AHL team to make the Rocket to make a run. So I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know. Maybe Poehling gets called back up. I don't know. I hope not. I hope Poehling stays down there to get some more time down there. So I don't know what it means having Thompson go. As far as Kovalchuk, well, he was already shifted down to the third line, so I don't think it's going to be as far as replacing what he was doing on the ice in the last 10 games anyway. It's not going to make a difference. And I like Kovalchuk, believe me, but he had cooled off, and he was playing third line minutes. And if Washington is going to play him on the third line, I don't know if that's really good. I kind of see him playing some time with Covey on the line. I know they're both left wingers, but he played right wing here. So he can play, and he did well on the right wing here with Suzuki at center. I hope they get Anderson from Columbus. I hear Columbus is who was it now? Is about to be a Columbus Blue Jacket. Oh, Athanasiou. There's a rumor that Athanasiou, I think it's Athanasiou, is going to Columbus. I like that guy. Anderson, that's yeah, I don't know, but what's it going to cost? And like I said, also Massimo, I don't see them being a buyer here, like that type of a buyer, especially I don't know for offense. It depends if they really, really, really think they're going to make the playoffs. And I guess being 6 points out and Toronto falling apart. Toronto so far has done nothing in this trade deadline. They traded Hutchinson for who was it that he traded for? A defenseman that they had before, Callie something. I don't remember the last name. Callie Rosen. So it's like not a big move. I don't think Toronto's going to get much done here. So Toronto, and if anybody remembers where I did a video where I picked how they're gonna finish at the end of the season, I had Toronto falling out right down to 12th in the division. In the conference, and maybe that's going to happen now. I don't know. They're in free fall. He's going to have to make some really, really significant moves, and I don't know if there's anything that he can do at this deadline to save the season. I'm talking about Kyle Dubas. As far as for Bergevin, if you're looking for all these trades of that, so the playoffs, it's obviously they're not going to make it, so then it doesn't matter. But are there any moves that they can make that can really assure them a playoff spot? No, because they're in a hole. They got to dig themselves out. You can't assure yourself of anything at that point. But I imagine that if there's a possibility, they've got a bunch of draft picks. They've got some prospects they could deal. Maybe they make a deal and find a defenseman, because really that's what they need. They need to find a defenseman, like just straightforward. That's the biggest hole they have. But I don't expect that to happen. If anything, I expect them to sell a couple of guys off, and that's it. It's turning out to be so far a bit of a boring trade deadline. With the I'm going to go over them in a minute. There's still only 4 guys. I was hoping for some more guys in here, but I'm going to go over them in a minute, what I already know now. And by the way, there's not enough people in here for this to happen, but I'll be on still for another almost hour. If I miss anything that you guys say, just retype it. I'll get to it, or do a super chat if you want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go over what happened. So this is since Kovalchuk was traded last night, right? So sometime later last night, it was somewhere around 10 or 11, maybe a little later than that, but somewhere around then, the Detroit Red Wings sent defenseman Mike Green to Edmonton for Kyle Brodziak, and a conditional pick is all I got. I don't know what round, in 20 or 2021, and I still don't know what round that is. So Mike Green, a good defenseman, is going to help Edmonton. They needed to shore up the defense, that's for sure. No pun intended there. And Green should help, because Green is a good defenseman on a really crappy team, and I think that's a good move for them. And they did there's a rumor on something else that Edmonton did. Oh, there's a rumor, but I'll get to it. I haven't confirmed it, but I'll get to it. So then this morning, first trade this morning was Vladimir Nemestnikov from Ottawa going to Colorado for a 2021 4th rounder, which to me I was a little surprised that that's all they got for him. I know he's not a great player, but he's good depth, and he can put some points on the board. And Colorado needs some help because Rantanen's out. So I thought it was a good move for both teams, I guess. I just thought Ottawa could get more for him. But hey, then the next one was Biggie, was Jean-Gabriel Pageau. Went from Ottawa to the New York Islanders, and the Islanders gave up, depending on how it works out, because there's conditions on 2 of these picks, but they gave a 1st-round pick for the 2020 draft, but it's top 3 protected. So if it's a top 3 pick, Ottawa gets next year's 1st round. Unlikely that New York Islanders will be a top 3 pick, but it's possible, but it's unlikely. And they get a 2nd-round pick in 2020, which is not conditional. So it's definitely getting that. And then the other conditional pick is a 3rd-round pick for 2022. And that's only if the Islanders win the Cup this year. So if they win next year, they're not getting that pick. They got to get it this year. So they're probably getting the 1st-round pick and the 2nd-round pick, and not the 3rd-round pick. So that's then I read that Pageau and the Islanders are already talking extension. So I would imagine the Islanders are not seeing this as a rental, that they want to keep him long term. He's a valuable guy depending on what you're paying for him. He's 40, 50 points. Good shorthanded player. So he gets shorthanded goals. So he's good there. A good player. I like him a lot better away from seeing him as often as we do with the Senators. So that's good, because he can hurt the Habs. He's a kind of a Habs killer, not lately. And yeah, it's a good deal, I think, for both teams. Then the next big deal that was right after that was Carolina and Florida making a deal. So Vincent Trocheck, who's a center, I do believe, and I'm not sure, but I think he's a UFA at the end of the season, went to Carolina. So this could be a rental. And they, in turn, sent back Eric Howla, Lucas Walmark, which I think is good for Florida. That's two good, useful players that could help them to secure this third spot in the Atlantic Division to get into the playoffs and keep ahead of Montreal because, I mean, that's basically who we're chasing right now. I'm not looking – I'm telling you, the Leafs are in free fall. I believe that. It's going to surprise me if the Leafs can come back and keep a playoff spot. I don't see it happening. It could happen, but I don't see that happening. That's my opinion. And it's not just because I don't like the Leafs. It's because they are I don't know what they do after that loss. And then the way everything's kind of spiraling and the craziness of the media there and Twitter, and they're crazier there than we are here in Montreal. So they also get Chase Prisky and Eetu Luostarinen. He's, I guess, from Finland because it sounds like a Finnish name. Very hard to pronounce one. And, I didn't get any better at a third try. So that goes to Florida. And I think it's a good move for both because Trocheck should help Carolina as well. And I think it's a good move. Next up was the Nate Thompson deal. So Montreal sent Nate Thompson to Philly. In return, they got a 5th-round pick in 2021. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get back to it. I just want to go over the list once. And, I'm not surprised at the return. I know everybody wanted to see a third or a second for Thompson. That wasn't going to happen. I kind of thought a 4th. They might get a 4th. I was hoping they could possibly get a 3rd, but excuse me, a 4th would have been what I thought, and they got a 5th. Not a bad return. Next up is San Jose and Pittsburgh. Patrick Marleau went to Pittsburgh for a conditional 3rd-round pick in if the Pens win the Cup in 2020 with this season, it's a 2nd-round pick. Don't know what year. I didn't see. Chris Kreider re-signed with the New York Rangers, 7 years, $6.5 million. So he's off the market. A little long, I thought, for that type of money for a guy like Chris Kreider, but I don't like Chris Kreider, so maybe that has something to do with it. Toronto and Colorado, again, there's a deal with Colorado, this time with Toronto. They sent Michael Hutchinson, the goalie, to Colorado for defenseman Calle Rosen, who I believe is an ex-Leaf, so they didn't do that much. And I don't know, I don't imagine he's like great shakes that he's going to help them. Anaheim and Philadelphia made a deal. This is a good deal for Philadelphia. Philadelphia gets Derek Grant, which is one of Anaheim's better players. And in return, they give Kyle Chris Cuolo and the 4th-round pick. I didn't see what year. They didn't give it at the time I wrote this. So I thought that's a good deal for Philadelphia. I know that Anaheim's stocking up on picks, and Chris Cuolo maybe is a prospect. I don't know anything about him. And then the Preds re-signed Marco Grimaldi, is that his name? I don't know first name, to a 2-year extension that was out there. Then the one that's not confirmed is Edmonton and Florida. Apparently, Mike Hoffman going to Edmonton. What the return is, I didn't see and haven't been able to confirm it. But just that would be a hell of a good deal for Edmonton. Add Hoffman on the top 6. I think that would be a good deal, but not confirmed yet. And then the last deal that I have, and I got to go back and look to find any more. New Jersey and Buffalo, Wayne Simons went to Buffalo for a 5th-round pick in 2021, and I just find that kind of odd. Why would Buffalo really think Wayne Simons is the answer to making the playoffs? Unless they got other plans, I just find that odd that they would be doing that. I don't know. Thought they'd be more sellers than buyers at this point. I don't know. So there you go. I'll get back to you guys now. So if I missed anything here, guys, just repost it and I'll get to it. I'm going back with Hockey Crabs. No, okay. So I didn't miss anything because I saw that one already. Trade deadline ends at 3, Hockey Crabs, but Sometimes, they get a ton of deals. And I say by a ton, you might get 20 deals come in last minute. They might be minor deals, whatever kind, and they get them, but they can't go through them and process them for like sometimes up to an hour. So between 3 and 4, you hear more deals, but they were all they got in through the however you file them. And imagine online before 3 o'clock, but 3 o'clock is the cutoff. That's right. So that's in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Let's see now. Randy, hope 2 months is not enough for Kovalchuk here with the Habs. Yeah, look, he might come back. He liked it here. We'll see. What if Washington wins a cup? He might want to re-sign there. So there's a possibility he doesn't want to come back here, or things happen to change his mind. So that's what happens. But apparently Montreal offered him a contract, and they couldn't come to. He didn't want to accept it. I don't know if that's true or not. I know they were negotiating, but I've read it in a couple of places that they offered him a contract, and then they asked him where he wanted to go between Washington and Boston, and he chose Washington. Habs should have tried getting Simons or Nemesnikov. They were cheap to get. I'm not sure how much they would help, but I'll tell you, for a guy like Nemesnikov, and you're right, he's cheap to get. It's not bad depth to have, right? And one of the things that Montreal had so much trouble with was depth. And it's not bad to have a guy like that around. So, yeah, I guess. I don't know. And it was, like I said, for Nemesnikov, I didn't think that was a big return. And maybe Ottawa and Montreal, they don't want to deal especially after the last game. They didn't want to make a deal with each other. I mean, who knows? Matthew Pekka to Ottawa for their 7th-round pick. And Andrew Luchuk. Oh, did you hear that? Okay, because I have to go back and look. So Matt Pekka, yeah, he wasn't really in the plans here. So I'm not surprised that he goes somewhere. So there you go. Ottawa, Montreal did make a deal. There you go. And Luchuk, I don't remember where they got him from, or if he was a draft of ours or not. So I don't know. This is a very minor deal. Ottawa's going to have a bright future with 3 firsts. Yeah, well, it depends. Look, you look at a team like Ottawa in 2 ways. First of all, maybe they don't draft well. That's one thing. And they don't keep their guys around anyway long enough for them to be great for the team. They, for a season or two until they want money, and then they got to go. So it doesn't really matter there. For a team, if you want to make a point, say, well, if Montreal had that, would it make a difference? Yeah, it could make a big difference. I'm not denying that it would. The difference is that you would have to suck like Ottawa for a few years, extended to what we've already gone through, and that's where it starts to be a problem. Why isn't today a Canadian holiday? Shouldn't it be, eh? All I've done since I got into work has been refreshing the TSN site. Yeah, I know what you mean, automatic. Right, for me, it's not a problem, but I'll tell you what, I was supposed to go walk the dog before the live stream. Not that I can't wait till after, but I thought, get it out of the way. But then there was a few trades, and then okay, I got the video done. Then they traded Thompson, so I had to do another video because I still had time. And then so I haven't been out yet. So yeah. Breaking news: the Leafs have signed David Ayres to a 4-year, $11.5 million contract. Yeah, that'd be funny. Listen, that's not happening for sure, but that's funny, and maybe it would be better off for them. Maybe he'd bring them some luck, but that's just a Cinderella story. That guy just had one of those, once in a lifetime kind of experiences. Imagine if you can get $11.5 million out of that. That would be awesome, eh? Gislain's in the room. To be honest, Kovalchuk was awesome at the beginning. He was. And then he started to fall off. So, yeah, Pekka, I guess, could have been. But, I mean, how effective was he in the time he was here? I was kind of hoping that it would be Jake Evans. I like the way Jake Evans played when he was here. He's a center. Why not bring him in on a regular basis at the end of the almost lost season and get him some experience there? I'm almost not believing who I'm seeing in the room. Joe. Joe is in the room. Haven't seen Joe in a long time. My long lost mod. Hey, Joe, how's it going, buddy? I don't like what we're doing. Kovalchuk being traded is just sad. And we just got rid of the best fourth line center in the league in Nate Thompson. He was doing so well here for picks. Okay. Now, I had read in a couple of places that Montreal had offered a contract to Kobe, and he turned it down. And if that was going to be the case, then you kind of had to trade him. So they gave him the option of Washington or Boston. He chose Washington. As far as for Thompson, he was a UFA again at the end of the season. I imagine he would have signed here, but imagine he would have been 36, aging. I mean, I don't know that you would sign him. So they got something for him. That's what the business part of it is about. I'm sad to see Thompson go, sad to see Kobe go, but at least they got something back before you lose somebody for nothing in a lost season. If this was a season where they really look, I think if Montreal felt they were in the running for a cup, and if anybody wants to wonder, does Montreal think they're going to make the playoffs? Trading Nate Thompson tells you they don't, and probably trading Kovalchuk also tells you they don't. So get something back in return that you can use to get either other picks or use the picks to make picks. I mean, it's the business side of it. It has to be, you have to do it. So, but good to have you back, Joe. I don't know where you've been. The David Ayer story reminds Wolverine of the John Scott story. Yeah, kind of, eh? From Joe again. I hope Kovalchuk signs with us for next season. There's talk. Apparently, there's talk of that, and there. I also read that Montreal, if Kovalchuk doesn't resign with Washington, Montreal's going to try to sign him. That's what I also read in a different story. So maybe there's truth to it. Maybe there's not. Maybe they can. Maybe they can't. You don't know. Ghislain, you're right, Rick. Like Jake Evans. Other option left is Ryan Poehling. Yeah, I think Jake Evans, because I think Jake Evans is maybe more ready than Ryan Poehling is. And I think for me, I would like to see it be Jake Evans. Whether that affects how the Rocket do for getting into the playoffs might mean whether they do it or not, but I don't know. And maybe they go out and they find somebody else. I mean, who knows what happens. But I kind of would like to see Poehling stay down there a little longer and get a little bit more seasoning. I think he shouldn't come back up till next season. That's my personal opinion. Massimo, guys, they traded Pex. Yeah, they traded Pekka to Ottawa. He's a cheap player. Ottawa is always looking for cheap options. And honestly, Pekka wasn't going to, what was he going to do here? But for Jose says, but in my book, neither Poehling or Kotkaniemi are NHL ready. No, that's why they're down playing in Laval right now, and I don't think they should come back up until they are. Literally, I think that's what it should be. And I think for KK, it should be by next season, and I think Poehling as well. Yeah, I'm getting an update from Patty Mack. Joe is saying, I'm guessing Jordan Wheel will probably be our fourth line center now. Well, that's an option too, I guess. He's a center, so it's possible. I think that's the best guy that can replace him. You know, that might be it actually. Okay, sorry, text. Maybe that's so Wheel doesn't go and doesn't get traded, and he is the fourth line center. That could be. But something will happen, and sometimes it's business. You got to make the moves that you know. Thompson wasn't going to make us get to the playoffs, and he wasn't going to be here next season. So that's how it goes. Plex return. No, Plex not coming back, but maybe Kobe does. If Kovalchuk rejected a contract that Montreal offered, then he probably not resigning with the Habs of July 1st. It's possible, and it's possible the report that I saw or where I saw it from wasn't accurate either. So, like I said, neither of those were confirmed. They're just things that I read. I don't know if it's possible. When I read something that's like, I know it's from a source that when he says this happened, I'll say that this isn't the case. So I don't know the validity of these things. I did read that also that Montreal would be looking to pick him up if Washington doesn't resign him. So, no. And even if, that's what's said and everything, it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. That could change as well. So there's so much time in between now and the off season, anything can happen. Look, if Covey wins the Stanley Cup with Washington, he might want to stay there. Would we somehow be able to trade Kincaid for a pick? Honestly, Joe Gatto's asked that. Honestly, I don't see it. Who's going to want Kincaid at this point? I don't see that happening at all. I'd be shocked. Hey, why not? Whatever little bit of money it saved, because he signed to $1.75 million. I don't know what's left now the rest of the season, but get rid of it if not, if you can. I'm going to look and see if I can find some updates on some new trades, because I only had those 9, and I don't know where I'm going to find more updates. Here, NHL Trade Tracker right here. Let's see what the Trade Tracker says. Let me see now. Yeah, it's all got all these. They don't update very fast. Jeez. Oh. Nope, going the wrong way. I got to find a Trade Tracker. So this will be the boring part of the live stream. I'm so busy this morning trying to get videos. I'm tired already. It's crazy. Let's see if this is any better. No, it's only giving the Trocheck deal. Yeah, I swear I can't find a Trade Tracker. I hate that. Oh well. You guys can update me now. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm doing the live stream. You guys update me. Joe's saying he's hoping we can get some guys for Laval. Hopefully we can get Kenny Agostino again. Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. Just last saying Kincaid or Louis Domingue. Now, Louis Domingue went on waivers. I would think that the Habs wanted him. They could have got him off waivers. Kincaid for anybody at this point. Kincaid for a bag of cold pucks. That's it. And we'll pay half his, we'll retain half his salary. What time does the deadline end? At 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But as I was saying, you're going to have trades come in after that because they haven't been able to process them, but they were entered before 3 o'clock. So it's 3 o'clock. So that's why more than likely I am going to go on, do another live stream tonight, probably around 7 o'clock. And we'll go over whatever. I'm expecting a lot more than the 9 that I had. There's got to be more than that. It's just I can't find a damn Trade Tracker. Not that I'm trying that hard, but I'm going to now try hard and see if I can get at least the TSN one. It should be here somewhere. Where's your Trade Tracker? I had it from Twitter earlier. I'm going to just go back here and see if I can get it again. See, come on, someone give me something good. There we go. There we go. Back in business. That should get me to a good Trade Tracker. Also, I'm on that on Twitter where at least I'm getting the news of all the trades. So we'll see. I'm just gonna be, not that I'm gonna be totally quiet, but I'm scrolling through here to see if there's anything updated on anybody or any new ones. Doesn't look like it so far. So it got like really busy there, and then it might have slowed down. And I would expect, by the way, between 2:30 and 3, probably if there's going to be any last minute ones, that's where you're going to be just bombarded with them. Because it still seems that they're talking about the 9 that I have. Can't be that there's like going to be 15 trades for the trade deadline. Can there? Can that? Yeah, they're still just talking about all the ones that I know about. I'm almost shocked about that. What do you guys think? There must be more. Anybody hear anything other than what I was reading off there before? Okay, so TSN saying Islanders are close to acquiring Parise from the Wild. Wow, why would they want to take on that contract? I don't know. He has to have 7 years on that still left. No, nothing else new. I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised at Toronto. Nothing. Toronto can't get anything done. Like, what's going on? By the way, guys, if I miss any comments, just redo it or super chat. I'll definitely see it, or just redo it. And I'll get to it eventually because I'm sure I missed a bunch. I'm just going to get right back into from this point. Joe says, I'm not familiar with this Luchuk. I mean, either. Don't know. Hoping he can help Laval. I guess that might be why they got him, but I don't know anything about him at all. Talking Habs, look at your last. Oh, that's asking a lot. What's your name again? Joel TD. How far back that goes, Joel? I don't know. I went back a bit of a ways. I can't find it. You got to retype it. Sorry, buddy. You don't have to do a super chat. Just retype it. I'll see it. But if you want to definitely get it noticed, you got that. That's one way. That's all. Like in the movie Slapshot, what this you trade for those guys? A bag of pucks and a jockstrap full of shit. Yeah. Slapshot. That's right, for the Hanson brothers. Yeah, good movie. I was looking to use a line from it in a video. I think I did in a Keys to Victory, and so I went through a whole bunch of Slapshot scenes. I couldn't find the whole movie, at least on YouTube. So I got bits and pieces. Any news on Domi getting traded? Nope, nothing yet. Yeah, me too, Joe. I hope it stays that way. Tio got Callie Rosen. They had him already once. Yeah. I don't know if they know what they're thinking of doing, Joe. It's just confusing what Toronto's doing. But hey, listen, I'm happy for it as far as the rivalry goes. First of all, it's another team that falls out of the race, and now we only have to catch up to Florida, maybe, and I'd like that. That would be really nice. Joey, good afternoon. You're at work? Thompson is gone. Yeah. Thompson is gone. That he is. Come on, you knew it was going to happen. More than likely today, because if they wait longer, they'd probably get nothing back for it. But they wouldn't get anything back from it. So he was one of those players like Kobe. It was either going to be sign him today, or he was being traded, because if you don't sign him at the end of the season, you're not getting anything back for him because you can't trade him. And then if you're not signing him, you can't trade him when he's a free agent. So, yeah, that's how it is. That's the problem. But, it's that's the business side of it. And, I'm emotional about the players like that. But, okay, Thompson was only here for a full year. Not a guy that's the most that I'm the most emotionally invested in. Sad to see him go and all that, but I can understand Thompson going. Just don't want to see the other guys that they're talking about go. Too emotionally invested in them. Brandon Saad. Yeah, I wonder what Chicago would want. And like I said, also, I don't know how much Montreal is going to be buyers at this point for the deadline. I don't know. I guess for the right deal, if they find that backup goalie they want, if they find the left defense they want, and guys that have term, because I don't see why they would want to do it if they don't have term. So if you're going to see Montreal trade for anybody to get them back, it's because they have some term and it's a spot that they need that they want to fill. Because why would they trade? Why would they get any rentals? The words aren't coming. I'm tired all of a sudden. It's really weird. Since the live stream went on, I'm super tired. So if I seem like I'm low energy, it's because of that. I'm trying to get pumped, but I've been so busy this morning. It's crazy. It was crazy. Remember, I do all this alone. I'm trying to do this, that, make videos, post them, follow what's going on. I'm kind of pooped. I wish I was a younger man right now. Okay, so what is hanging for Brandon Saad? Brandon Saad has some term too, doesn't he? He's not a rental, I don't believe. So I don't see them. No, Brandon Saad does have term. That's true, I think. Ryan Donato. Where is he from now? Donato, Minnesota? Not sure. Yeah, Joey Kovalchuk went last night, though. That's from last night, or from yesterday afternoon. From yesterday, anyway. Wolverine. Isn't Parise like 32 or 33? That contract is massive to take on. That's why I said I don't get that one. There's got to be more to it than just getting Parise. That's a long. He's in his 30s. He still has like 7 years left. I think he signed till 40 on that contract, and it's like not a cheap contract. Not like he's making a ton of money. So there's got to be something else to that, I would think. Anyway, Kovalchuk, Thompson, Pekka are departures so far. Yeah, fringe guys. And listen, that's what I said. I think fringe guys. I didn't think big deals, but listen, we're not done yet. Still 2 hours to go. Joe Big Shot. It would be awesome to pick up Gustafson from Chicago. Just wondering the price. Yeah, that's a good question. Now that Chicago's fallen out of the run, they looked like they were going to make a run to make the playoffs. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen now. So maybe the price goes down a little bit on Gustafson at this point. I wonder if we'll sign Domi today. He needs a new contract, RFA. But don't forget he's an RFA, so he doesn't like 100% absolutely have to have a new contract today. So I don't know if they'll sign him today. But they might. I mean, this is a day where people do re-sign guys. And listen, signing him ahead of him being able to get an offer sheet, because I think he qualifies to get offer sheets, then that would always be good. Yeah, I know that wasn't directed at me, but I was just trying to decipher that. Winnipeg still owns Dustin Byfuglien's rights. Still trying to trade him, I think. I saw something on Twitter, I think it was, about a Winnipeg-Montreal deal for Byfuglien for his rights anyway, because it's at this point they only have his rights. You have to work out a deal. I think that's how it works with that Byfuglien and Winnipeg. They still have his rights. Imagine if we make the playoffs now. Listen, if Toronto falls out, we got a better shot at it. But Florida made a couple of good moves that, if they work, we might not be able to catch them. Because remember, that's Florida, I think that is now in third spot. So we've got to catch Florida. Not so much worried about Toronto anymore. And besides, Toronto's imploding. Carolina is going to send Domi an offer sheet payback. Maybe, but not if Montreal signs him before they get a chance to, right? Montreal can sign him before the end of the season or before July 1st to an extension, and then Carolina never gets the opportunity to. But quite honestly, I don't think so. I don't know, unless Domi makes sense for them to have in their lineup. I don't see why you want to do that. What if Domi says yeah and signs it, and Montreal says, okay, you want to overpay him and all that, take him. We'll take your whatever, however many draft picks. Maybe that's how it works. So I don't know. Ghislaine, Patrick Marleau to the Bruins. No, Patrick Marleau to the Penguins. Patrick Marleau went to the Penguins for, I can tell you what that's for. I have that one. A conditional third-round pick. In what draft, I don't know. It didn't say. And the Pens, if the condition is if the Pens win the Cup this year, it's going to be a second-round pick. Where was I? There I am. I have either Pittsburgh or Washington to win the Cup. I had Washington at the beginning of the season. I'm hoping Washington because of Kobe. I had Washington. Excuse me, my eye. In a prediction video from way back. So, and I think I took them twice. I updated it and I still kept Washington. So maybe I'm good on that. We'll see. If Toronto falls apart, we do have 2 head-to-head games with Florida left, so that could be a huge swing, and it could be. And and we end this season, by the way, in Toronto, which is also interesting. Even if, especially more so if they're out of it and we aren't. But yeah, that could be. It could make a difference. The only problem is, I believe Florida has 2 games in hand over Montreal, so that's going to be trouble. That's why it's going to be hard to knock Florida out. And I'm not happy with their moves because their moves to me look good for them and doesn't make it good for Montreal. Let's say if Jack Eichel requests a trade out of Buffalo, do you think the Habs can get him and be our number 1 center, or do you think it's a pipe dream? Isn't he a Habs fan? It's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. First of all, what do you think the ask would be for Jack Eichel? That's number 1. Is he worth it? A player is only worth so much. That's if you have to dismantle some of your team to get him and you create holes elsewhere, then it's almost a moot point, except that, yes, he's a center. Yes, he's a beast of a player. I get that. You can start rebuilding around him. But he don't want to come to a team that, again, is starting to rebuild. And right? So I don't know. Does it really work? Does it make him happy? If you're going to get a guy like that, you want him to be happy. So I don't know. I think it's a pipe dream anyway. So I think if anything, Buffalo's going to work their asses off to make a team around, to build a team around him and not lose a player like that. He's one of those players that, you don't want to lose. You want him around for his career. I don't know about him being a Habs fan. It's a possibility. I don't know. He's American, so I don't know if that means anything. I don't know where exactly he's from. Wolverine, I don't think Buffalo is making the playoffs. I don't think they're making the playoffs either. That's true. I mean, that's just, I don't think so. Which is why I think getting Wayne Simons is kind of odd. Eichel's a Boston boy, but actually grew up a Habs fan. Yes. Oh, okay. So, no, I didn't know that, but it's just, what does it cost to get a guy like Eichel? Can you imagine, though, what Buffalo would want? And again, would Buffalo really want to trade Eichel to a division rival? I don't know. I don't think so. Sorry, you're right. It was Penguins. Yeah, it was Penguins, definitely. Eichel for Suzuki. Will you do it? Unfortunately, I would probably say yes, but I mean, that's not going to happen. Because I don't think Buffalo would do that. I don't know that Jack Eichel is going to be a great player, and when his career is done, all said and done, Jack Eichel. Suzuki, maybe. I think he will be, but he's still only at the maybe. He's still a long way to go to be an elite player yet. Where Jack Eichel is, I don't think it's something you do if you're Buffalo. Unless he forces it, even then, I don't know. But I think that would be a tough one because even though I really love Suzuki, he's like my favorite player here. Jack Eichel in return, how do you turn that down? honestly, if we had the chance to acquire Jack Eichel, I think it's worth it. If it's Eichel, that's a superstar. He would make us an instant cup contender. Um, but wait a second. I mean, that's not the reason to do it, though, Joe. Because if you're saying he'd make us an instant cup contender, he's not making Buffalo an instant cup contender. Then, if you want to say, well, we're that much better than Buffalo, are we that much better than Buffalo? Because we're not in any better shape really than they are. So I don't know necessarily that that's true to say that, but you can definitely build to a cup contender a lot faster, probably with him. Although, listen, if you have a team that's really young with a lot of players coming through the pipeline, you've got a player like Suzuki that maybe you don't want you maybe you want Suzuki around for the to be growing with that whole team that's coming along. Yeah, I know I'm sounding probably stupid. It's Jack Eichel. Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice to pick up a Athanasiou. I like Athanasiou. Yeah, but then again, I don't think they're going to be making trades like that as far as picking up players. I think you're. I don't think they're going to be buying like that. Backup goalie that makes a difference, that has term, that they want to go forward with. Yes. That left side defenseman that they've been looking for. Yes, but I don't know about a guy like Athanasiou. And he's rumored now to be going to Columbus Blue Jackets. Man, I'm tired today. I'm going to do about another 10 minutes, and then I've got to go for, I got to take my dog out, and I'll be on. See how tired I can't even think now. It's not even funny, but it is funny. At least I'm giving you some kind of entertainment. Hey, let's watch an old guy fall asleep on the air. So I'll be on the air tonight after supper. We'll do a roundup of all the deals that were made today. And I don't know. The rumor is Columbus is gonna go after Athanasiou, so we'll see. There's a lot of players out there that are good players that I think can move. So that, like the 9 deals that I've seen so far, I think there's a lot more that can happen. Just that, will it happen? I don't know. So I'm not going to go make a roundup, and well, maybe I should just do a quick roundup and look and see, because we're only going to be another 10 minutes on here. But it doesn't seem like there's been. It's like I was expecting for the 3 days prior that we're going to get a bunch of trades, and it's going to be kind of a boring day today. And then that didn't happen. Really, there were some trades, but that didn't really happen. And then okay, so it'll be exciting today because there's got to be a certain amount of trades that always happen. And it seems like we're even like not getting too many of those today. So I don't know. Maybe this is the way that we're trending for the future, is there won't be a ton of movement like there used to be on trade deadline day. So we'll see. But so far, I mean, I'm not seeing anything new happening here. Let me just see if I can get an update. Oh, well, no wonder I'm all the way down there. So maybe I'll be taking that back. Sorry, I didn't think I was scrolled up to the bottom. Okay, so now we're seeing what we got here. Huh? Oh, okay. I thought it showed that Gustafson got traded here. No, that's not what I saw. Okay, sorry for looking shocked on the air. So I'm scrolling right now through. I'm on Twitter, scrolling through their trade center updates, and just to see if there's anything that's come out since I went on this live stream. And then if there is, we'll talk about it. And then if not, we'll wrap it up. Talk about what's happened so far, and then wrap it up. Because it doesn't seem like there's anything. I'm really surprised. I really, really am. I guess Kyle Palmieri is probably going to stay with New Jersey, which makes sense because they traded away a bunch of guys. So you've got to think they got to keep somebody. Okay, no. No, it doesn't look like so. I'm going to say there's been nothing else new, and that's a bit of a shock. What do you guys think? Are you guys surprised at how few trades there have been so far up to this point right now? But then again, I think the bulk of the trades, if I'm wrong, they come in the last half hour. So what I will be doing though, if there's anything, if there's any of the big ones after I'm off the air, I'll do a video about them. I'm going to try to gather a few in a row, unless it's a Habs deal. If it's a Habs deal, it'll get its own video. Otherwise, I'm going to gather them together, and then I'll have the live stream after supper around 7, and we'll review everything that's happened. So hopefully you guys will be able to be there, and it also gives a chance for the guys that work and can't be in here to get a chance to come in, and we'll talk about the trades that have happened. And I will be a lot more rested. I think I'm going to try to have a. I'm an old guy. I could say I can take a nap during the day. I might, if not, I'll still be not as tired. I don't know why I'm so tired, but it was really. I was running around for about 2.5 hours there, just making videos and checking and this and that, and uh, it was stressful. That's why I work for myself. It's a lot easier on the stress level. Although we call it work, this channel isn't doesn't pay hardly at all yet. So to say that it's work, it's still work. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything's happened. I'm trying to, that Mike Hoffman deal is very intriguing, but I haven't been able to confirm it. But it seems like Mike Hoffman is here listed in from somebody saying that these are trades that happened. Oh, from last season. Okay, that's why. Okay, makes sense. So I don't know. I guess that's not an actual deal that's happened. Okay, so let me get back to you guys for the last 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes maybe, and we'll see from there. So also, like I said, if I've missed anybody's question here, repost it, do a super chat, whatever, and I'll try to get to it because I'm back down at the bottom there. I'm sure I missed some. Joe's saying Dallas and Florida are pushing for Thornton. I heard Thornton for wasn't maybe it was Florida. You're right, Florida. Athanasiou may go to Edmonton. Yeah, that could be a spot for Athanasiou. Ben Hutton on our blue line would be great. Mete for Hutton would be nice. I would definitely do that. I don't know enough about Hutton to say yes or no. I know he's bigger than Mete, that's for sure. Bob St. Jean, hey buddy, thanks for coming in. Trade day is always the same. Trade some bottom 6 players and then never be good enough the rest of the series to be a serious cup contender and never get a high number draft pick. Have a great day. Well, look, it's not over yet. There's still a couple hours. I don't think they're going to do a deal like that, like you're saying. So you might be right, but we'll see. So Athanasiou to the Oilers. I think that's a good deal for Edmonton. I think Athanasiou can offer some more than he's shown with Detroit. And listen, he's probably going to be playing with either with Draisaitl or with McDavid, right? So how bad can that be? So I think that's a good deal for Edmonton. I don't know what they gave up. Haven't seen that yet, but I think that's a good deal for Edmonton. PK could get traded, but who's going to take his contract? Yeah, I don't know. I think PK. I don't know if he's going to get traded. I wonder what the ask was for Athanasiou. So what did Detroit get? I'm really curious to find that out. Let me see if I can find it here, since it's an actual thing that just happened. Maybe it'll be up here. Oh, maybe we're going to scroll up this way. Come on. Seems like Toronto did something. Tyson Barrie. It's not a 100% source. Tyson Barrie's been traded in a three-way deal with the Canucks and the Minnesota Wild. It says details to come on at Trade Center. So looks like the Leafs traded Tyson Barrie. Don't know what they're getting back, but the Leafs are desperate to make a move that's going to have some kind of improvement to their team. If they're trading Tyson Barrie, I would think it's going to be something considerable coming back. And maybe that means they're getting from Minnesota. Who would come back from Minnesota? Dumba. Did the Leafs just get Matt Dumba? I wonder. I hope not. Okay, wait. Athanasiou not going to Columbus. He's going to Edmonton. Still no details. Still no details on that one. Dumba. I don't want to see Dumba go to Toronto. Is anybody still listening to me? What do you think about that? Does anybody know? Is it Matt Dumba that's from Minnesota going to Toronto? Wonder if Winnipeg would want Subban or Byfuglien type deal. I don't know. It's a lot of money. Does Winnipeg have the money for Subban though? That's I think that would be the question right there. Mainly is that I don't think they can afford $9 million for Subban. So New Jersey would have to retain a lot of that. I agree with you, Wolverine. I don't want Dumba to go to the Leafs. But I mean, I would think why, if they're trading Tyson Barrie, that's a defenseman, I would think if they're getting the player from Minnesota, then it is Matt Dumba, I would think. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing that one. Okay, I'm going to have to call this a live stream for now. So, listen, I'm going to be back, like I said, at 7 o'clock. Do another hour and a half, and we'll talk about all the things that have happened today. So much has happened in the last 5 minutes, so I can't get it all together. But I'll have that for you guys in either a video later or when we get back at 7 o'clock. We'll review every deal that's going on. There's going to be a bunch more going on in the next 90 minutes. So keep your eyes open for all that, and I hope I'll see you at 7 o'clock. I will put the stream up probably another hour or so. I'm going to put it up at 7, and hope I'll see you guys there. So thanks, everybody, and a peace out. But I got to get going. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate everybody's support, and that I don't know how many people were in the room, but it says there's 10 there now. And now I'm groveling for no, I'm not groveling. But thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hopefully, I hope Montreal doesn't do that much more, that we don't lose the guys that we like. And that's my thought. Thanks, everybody. Peace out. See you later. Did not click that.